Welcome to the Code of Entry podcast, where we cloud the issues with facts and help you upskill to stay on the digital edge. Here's your host, Greg, with the latest.
Hey team, Greg here with another Code of Entry podcast featuring
Carrie.
The Carrie Fisher. And we're back and want to say happy 5 years. Cheers. Happy 5 years. What 5 years? If you're audio only, we clinged our blue Code of Entry super cool cups. So 5 years of Code of Entry. So it's been an interesting 5 years. And so this kind of retrospective, we'll talk about some technical and non-technical things. Yeah, but kind of interesting. If you can do the math very quickly, I mean, it's 5 years in a year ending with a 5. Started in 2020. And, that was COVID. And it's been a whirlwind. We've got a lot to go over.
Yeah. What not to do in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
To do in the middle of COVID.
Start a business.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So I think, right when we started, it was really, hey, and spoiler, we both retired from the Army. Hey, I'm going to retire from the Army. I want to put some material out there and, prove my subject matter expertise, increase my resume, make myself marketable and all this stuff. Okay, great. Did it started planning a couple years early, and looking back, and I really didn't need to do this because we got plenty busy, partially thanks for COVID, partially thanks for just getting busy and being on the right path with technology. But so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do all these things. And I was not doing all of these things. I'm like, wow, I need an organized person in my life to run this on the business side. So enter Carrie. Yeah, started talking about it. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm in, we can do this. And then COVID hit. And then we moved during COVID. So we relocated from Virginia to Georgia. And if you weren't in those two locations, I think it was a lot of the country, right? Where we were in Northern Virginia, where it's like the zombie apocalypse had just happened. Like, we hadn't seen people in weeks. And we moved to Georgia, and like, people might wear a mask. So like, we got down here and we quarantined for our, whatever it was, 2 weeks when we got here. And then when we ventured out for the first time, it's like, there's people and they're acting pretty normal.
School started normal.
Spoiler, and this might be too political, but spoiler alert, like, I didn't meet, like, everybody I met didn't die, by the way. So it was just night and day the way that it was treated. But population density is different and all this other stuff. But so, that happened. So, we started, and the ability to make content and link up and do podcasts and whatever was pretty low. And we just got drowned by work. We were in the cybersecurity community, and we made a lot of, decisions to accept risk to support a all of a sudden remote workforce when that hadn't really been a thing. And so our day jobs got really busy. But it's informed a lot that we could do for podcast topics. So
that's true.
Yeah, and the podcast really wasn't even the first thing. It was like, hey, we're going to do like YouTube videos or Udemy classes. And then it was, okay, COVID happened, and this isn't my first business. So I think what I learned from my first business is the things you think will work and that you're going to do don't always work out. This was going to be a content-related business. We're going to sell our expertise, and I say sell loosely, and raise authority and whatever. But then some folks approached us for making a website. We made a website, and it's like, well, do you use search engine optimization? I was like, that's easy. It's very intuitive. And we started talking about it. I was like, hey, we could do search engine optimization. So now we're primarily a WordPress website because you get more than you pay for, and search engine optimization business. And that wasn't how we started.
It started just on any projects you had. The good ideas, random things you would make, an app, anything that you're interested in trying out.
Yeah. I mean, and I say this wasn't my first business, so I guess what I learned from Lighthouse Mobile Solutions, lighting the path towards a digital world, something like that. I made an app, and it was awesome. And honestly, if it had been 3 years later, it would have been even more awesome. But it was before everybody had smartphones. And I'm trying to sell people on, no, everybody's going to have one of these things. So like, yeah, whatever, it's just a fad. Yeah, we see how that works out.
Yep.
But, had this one thing I'm trying to force on everybody, and didn't particularly pan out, versus this, where it was just like, okay, there are going to be things that we want to do, and there are going to be things that pay money. So let's split those up into different verticals, and we'll take the verticals that make money and see if they can support the verticals that we find fun or want to try to make money and don't make money. So like podcast makes no money. Spoiler, I know all 30 of you listeners, hopefully 3,000 after this episode. But it's like, you have to take the things that do make money to get started and get traction. And once you start getting traction, you branch out. And the things that stick, and the things that don't, you just got to let them go. Yeah, letting things go. That was another good lesson, but we can get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm talking a lot, but happy 5 years. I'll slow down, take a breath, let Carrie reminisce a little bit.
Shout out to some of our OG employees that have been with us nearly the entire time. We got family. We have basically family now. Well, thankful to Bobby, who does our website design, right? Thankful to Liana, who basically ran all of our operations while we were still continuing to finish up our service and running all of the good idea projects that people would have, Greg. Maybe for different types of systems that we tried out. Survey systems, more things that we're coding on. Larger shout out to Amy, Greg's wife, for keeping down the fort, because basically she did all of the work. And I've never heard her complain, but that's me. Maybe she'll do that a little bit.
Of course she's never complained. Amy has never complained, in case you listen to this and transcribe it later and post it online and tell me about all the things I said that were stupid.
Valid complaints when she did have them, for sure. But the whole goal was not to have her work and have it be awful. Hopefully something that we could all grow from. And then when we could be able to bring on new people, we were able to do it to help with other tasks that we had. So that's our OG shout out.
Yeah, and I mean with the OGs, it's interesting because we added people, I'll say haphazardly, but as projects dictated. So like the first thing was like, yeah, I can make websites. Okay. So if you know me, I can totally make websites. I can basically do anything. That doesn't mean I can do anything great. So I make very functional websites. I can optimize websites. I can get whatever to run in whatever environment you want. As soon as you want to go past functional and you want it to look, I won't even say pretty, but presentable. Yeah, we got people for that. And people are named Bobby. So thank you, Bobby. And Bobby can, sling websites very well too. But it's been a very good, partnership where it's like, yep, I can set up the hosting, get the website up and ready so that you can come in and style it and figure out how the client wants it to look versus me being like, well, this is all you really need.
Yes. Purple, pink.
All right.
Light purple.
All right. So first we've got to explain the reference. If you have never heard of light purple, it is totally a color. You need to Google Sean Connery light purple. You can even stop listening. Do it right now. It's hilarious. Yes. And actually I said Sean Connery. Is it also Keanu Reeves at the same skit?
It might be. I don't remember.
Okay, so
Saturday Night Live,
Light
which
Purple.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sean Connery and Keanu Reeves. It's pretty good. Okay, and the other reference is I'm not colorblind, and I can tell the difference visually of pink and purple, but they look like the same color. I'm looking over. I've got a whiteboard sitting right there, and it's a super cool whiteboard, 2-sided, slides up and down, magnetic. It's awesome. And on this whiteboard, there's a purple and pink magnet. The left one is purple, the right one is pink. But without them next to each other, I got no shot. That's pink, it's purple, it's the same thing. So just to explain the point, thank you, Bobby, we love you. Yeah, and then Liana, that's been cool because Liana coming in from Guild Education, graduated from West Point, and put some managerial rigor into the company because like Carrie said, we were both on active duty still. And so we would come up with ideas. We would fly by night, but it was like a once a week sync meeting where we'd make sure things were good. And then we'd pull our other hours to make sure people were paid or we were billing and we were standing up websites, that kind of thing. So Liana kind of held it together. And then, and I'm not selling that enough, but there's been podcasts with Liana. So you can go back and listen. And then my wife, Amy, when it was like, hey, can you do search engine optimization? It's like, hey, I can do it. I can do anything. Too easy. They always get mad when you're saying too easy. I found a reference. That was the book, They Ask You Answer, which I highly recommend. It's probably the only book I really recommend. You see these books over here? It's the one I'll recommend because it's common sense. Nothing about cheating algorithms, how the algorithms work. It's really about intent. And it's like, hey, people search and they want an answer to the question that they just asked. And if you answer the question, guess what? You'll rank. So super complicated, but good read. Amy read it. We did some hand holding for a little while, but SEO is very boring, by the way, but it is very attention to detail and methodical, and she's got that in spades. So it was a great fit, and now we've scaled. She's not alone and unafraid anymore. But it was an interesting journey. But again, it was there was traction. That's where there was potential revenue, and it stuck and it grew. And now, honestly, websites are secondary. I look at websites as like an audition for clients of, are we a good fit? Because, there are some clients that want to be completely hands-on and in everything. And as long as they have the right personality, like with our team and how we work, that can work. And then there's some clients that are just completely hands-off. That's like, whatever you think. We kind of thrive with them because then we don't have to get every little thing approved, and we can try stuff and we can succeed and we can fail fast and we can continue to grow. So there's a balance there for sure. But yeah, the OGs made this work.
It was great because we all have things that we're not expert in or that were push us into an uncomfortable zone. But the team that we put together, they all had their different niche efforts that kind of complemented everything, which was nice. So looking back over the first year, it was great because we could do different things and ask for help for different things when it wasn't our strong suit, which was nice, right? Good team effort in comparison to thinking you can do it all on your own. You can't do everything. Can't be an expert at everything, Greg.
Yeah, but you can try.
You can try.
There's not a lot of sleep in doing that. Yeah, but I think scaling through some people has been helpful, and I think we were kind of aggressive on scaling people too, maybe a little early. But what it allowed us to do too is it allowed us to also hire not so great sometimes and try. There'd be somebody without the experience, but that was motivated and wanted to learn. Hey, let's try it out. There'd be people with credentials. Let's try it out. And if it worked out, great. If it didn't, then it's okay. We moved on. No harm, no foul. We've had a lot of great people that have been on the team, just not necessarily kept everybody long term. But it's finding that team. It's just kind of like landing clients, right? Not everybody's a perfect fit. And if you're spending a large portion of your time for somebody that's paying a lower portion, it's not all about the money, but it's suboptimal because now your company is stressing about the level of effort they're giving because really you're over delivering because that's what we want to do, but you still got to over deliver for everyone, and it puts abnormal stress on the plate. So between scaling people and making sure that the client atmosphere is always permissive is pretty good.
I think an added bonus for the first year to two that we did it, especially when we were talking about websites, is we were able to also help some nonprofits with what we did. So also shout out to Pete because he was able to find some of the clients who would do things at a more discounted rate to get more expertise in doing the website design stuff. And then just the other pieces that might be of note, right? A booking system or a calendar or something that they wanted to share. It was nice to be able to test out all the different things before high-paying clients are going to be more reliable on it. So thanks, Pete. Thanks for bringing us along for that ride.
Yeah, and some of the Pete efforts were just good things to do too, right? So you have, a kidney clinic in Africa, another nonprofit, a boys' school in Africa, and we did kind of a lot of pro bono work there just because it was the right thing to do, and we were able to contribute. So that was really neat. And then there was, we did the Redeem for a long time. The Redeem was another nonprofit. So that nonprofit work, it's fulfilling. It doesn't necessarily always pay the bills. But again, that wasn't completely what it was about, right?
Just different values.
Yeah, we've got to develop our team, be happy with our work, be proud of our work. Yeah.
That's good. I look back fondly. It was very much a blur, but we still did it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at looking back. It's kind of, and maybe it's an Army thing, right? But I'm very in the here and now. So I'm glad, Carrie's like, hey, it's 5 years. We should do a retrospective. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been 5 years. Wow. It seems like 5 minutes.
It does.
But yeah, it's good to look back. So what are some of the, and I think I'm going to go back to the team for a minute. So we've had a couple other team members, right? We've had some team members have done social media, which I'll be honest, even there's clients listening, right? Like social media isn't our core competency yet. We're still digging in and working on it. I would put us up against, most agencies. There are probably some specialty social media agencies like, I don't know, Stacy. Hey, Stacy Social, shout out.
Shout out.
But like Stacy, who would blow us out of the water, right? But we do good. Our Google Ads stuff is much better. We were primarily an SEO shop for a long time. With the AI revolution kind of ongoing now, and then clients that want to come in and want immediate results, they don't want to wait for that SEO traction. SEM, doing paid ads, is an avenue that we've branched into, and we're pretty competent at that. The integrated phone systems, survey systems, calendars, booking systems, e-commerce stores. Yeah, we're Aaron Judge at all of those. We're knocking them out of the park. That's good.
Yeah. Multiple types of websites, so not just one specialty area. The various clients we have various workflows that they want to have, right? So it's been really good. Whether we were hosting their emails or using other services to host their emails, that's been a process.
And a problem, like you were about to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anybody out there, self-hosting emails used to be a pretty good idea. I say used to be about like 10 years ago. Now, if you're doing like nonprofit stuff, you can still do it, but deliverability suffers. Really, Google, Microsoft, they've cut the ability for most people to host emails now. A lot of it is to increase deliverability and decrease spam, but a lot of it too is their businesses, and it drives people to their businesses. So if you're not on a Google Workspace or a Microsoft Outlook for email these days, yeah, you're gonna suffer for deliverability and reputation and everything else. So yeah, so for those of you that don't know, when you have a web server and you set up the hosting, the emails are actually included. You have a mail exchange that's in there. There's normally some built-in spam filtering and stuff like that. It's basically free, like literally if you're working with us, included in your hosting. But if you need to rely on that email for your business, it's not reliable enough. You need to get an Outlook or Workspace.
Better just for protection overall.
Yep, especially in cybersecurity days now.
Yep. So I think it's a good branching point to talk about some of the special projects we did.
Okay.
Because about the time we got our feet under us, we were looking for things to do that were of value, whether it's just like identifying if we have the talent to be able to do it. So not really for profit, but potential profit in the future. So setting up a survey system with folks that we tried to bring in that could help code for it, right? That was not my expertise,
Right.
but getting it all and then we have Liana that helped run all of our different sprint cycles to make sure we could try to get through it, deliver it, test it. She's really good at going through meticulously and testing all the different things. And then she documents when we needed to make any of the fixes. So we had a really good way to develop, test before we even were able to show the product to the client, which was nice. And then just, it's been in a sustain mode, which is great, right? Minor changes, but getting our feet wet in a special project that wasn't website related.
Right.
Wasn't SEO related. Do we use things to help enable that project? Yes. We've at least deployed it twice.
Yeah, and that's an example of a vertical that we actually thought could explode, and for whatever reason it didn't. But we have been able to reuse it and deploy multiple instances of we call it Courier of Courier to do text messaging. So it's integrated with AWS, and we can send text messages, receive responses back, direct people to a website to fill out a survey, do things like Net Promoter Scores, which is more traditional kind of marketing stuff, or do survey questions required. For the first one we did was for Medicare billing. There are these Medicare incentive programs. You have to score a certain thing in these categories, and surveys happens to be a thing. And so providers, if they survey, can actually bill the insurance more. So they bill more than the survey system costs, and it's a win for them. Interestingly, and this will be a little bit in left field, but it goes back to like our team composition. For whatever reason, I'm really good at like digging into a topic and understanding it. So like we were able to do the research and look and understand kind of how the medical surveys work, what the rules are, what we have to implement. And then if anybody out there is lobbying or talking to old Bobby Kennedy up there, the hospitals now, the only way that they can survey authoritatively is through mail. So they can't email or they can phone call. Okay, I'm not answering a phone number that I don't have in my phone. I'm not going to fill out the paper survey you sent me in the mail. Oh, by the way, how much does it cost, even if I do fill it out, for you to mail me a stack of documents? Hope I fill it out, mail it back, pay for the people that mailed it, and enter it in manually. And so we've made a survey system, and I'm sure a bunch of people could make this survey system. But we have this survey system now that does it all digitally, sends you a text message for a fraction of what the mail cost. And as opposed to having like less than 0.5% completion rate that the mail does, has like almost a 20% completion rate. Like, why can't we update the laws to do this? But in any case, we were able to read the rules, make it have that disclaimer that like, hey, you're going to do this and you're actually going to get more feedback about your patient's visit so you can increase your quality of service, but it doesn't count towards HCAHPS, which is the real survey program. So, but yeah, but we have a team, right, where we can understand the problem space, we can direct the work, achieve the outcomes, kind of be that product owner for the client so that they don't have to check in but so much, do update to the client, iterate quickly, deliver the product. So we've been very fortunate that one of our newer employees was like, yeah, this is a small but mighty team. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We could do anything, but then it goes back to should you.
Yeah. That is lots of should we or should we not take on a new client, different topics, different projects. We put, at least for now, you can list different services for Code of Entry on LinkedIn. You can just say like open to work on whatever the different topics are. And I get emails and notifications pretty routinely about some of the services we provide, but I don't accept them, and their turnaround time isn't something that they usually like email me back about. So I have at least 20 a month that come through, and we just don't match what they might need. That doesn't mean we won't try, and I've reached out a couple of times to some of the potential clients, but sometimes you have to filter through and see if it's spam as well. But there's some stuff we just don't match on, just based off of our battle rhythm, how we operate. We're very diligent about what we want to deliver.
By battle rhythm translation, meeting cadence, delivery cycle.
Yeah. Okay. Good translation. But what we plan to deliver is purposeful, right? We want it to be very well thought out. We want it to be high quality. We don't want to put out junk. So some of the things we just don't match. We want to make sure we are matching for what the client needs.
Yeah, and I guess at 5 years, that's a luxury we kind of have now. We didn't have at the beginning.
Right.
So, I kind of talked at the beginning about traction. We have enough traction now that we can pick and choose projects. I wish we could maybe be more picky. That'd be great because that means there's more projects. But, we can make sure that we're the good fit, because we've met with clients. So we're just outside of Augusta, Georgia. And we've met clients locally that have been like, hey, can you do X? And be like, we totally could, but with what you want to achieve or exactly how you want to do it, your intent, we're probably not the best pick. You should probably actually go talk to this person because they do that really well. So we want to have those relationships, and hopefully, who knows, maybe we'll get a referral from them when somebody asks for something that's kind of our core competency. Like there was a local, and we've done financial websites, I think, really well. But we had a local financial company, and just the demographic they wanted to market to, how they wanted to market, what they're prepared to invest in, we weren't the people.
Yeah, the demographic part, not really matching. Maybe more classic marketing techniques and flyers and billboards, and those are all valid things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially to the target audience. So if you're looking at, more retirement age stuff, that makes sense. They're probably not walking around with their phone all the time and looking at the different text messages, which is a little different than maybe what the digital world is going to help provide, right? Maybe wait another 10 years and then we'll be in. Yes.
Yeah, we'll be like, yeah, we can totally do those people. We're those people.
Yeah, I can target myself.
Yeah. But I guess my point being that like, hey, when you can be selective, totally be selective. It'll be good for the company. It'll be good for your mental health. It'll be good for everybody's morale. But if you're not there yet, it's okay. I mean, you'll get there. It takes time, but it's all about getting traction, having income, making it so you can build a team, find your core competencies, and then scale from there. But until you get traction somewhere, you got to have a few seeds planted that start to grow. You can't really go anywhere, right? So just hey, be patient, get started. You'll find traction, and then you can start being more selective. And it's funny, we take some special projects now that a few years ago I would have been like, this is what we should do all the time. And now I'm like, oh man, this is so hard. Why are we doing this? So it's just funny how your perception changes. You figure out, and as you grow the team too, like as the business owners, you figure out that your time gets divided between things that aren't you hands on keyboard.
Yes.
So it's like the things that were hands on keyboard when it was a team of 2 were exciting. Let's do it. Let's jam it out. And now it's like, ooh, I'm the only person that can do that. Or Carrie's the only person that can do that. Do we want to take this work? And so it's,
not usually good methodology. Try to have the team can do it. The answer is yes. If it's only one person, we probably need to rethink our strategy.
Yeah, and it's hard to scale people, which is, again, going back to another thing earlier, which is why we tried to scale early and often with a bunch of part-time hires. And we have a bunch of full-time people now. Well, I'll say full-time. We have a bunch of salaried people now. But we started with, hey, let's do part-time. Let's make sure we're a good fit. If we need a person, let's hire 2 people. And we've had instances before where we've kept the 2 people because, hey, it worked out. We'll figure it out financially. And we've had, instances before where 2 people departed. So yeah, it's forming the right team is, I can't explain how important that is.
I think getting known for the business also helps with other opportunities for folks that might have some expertise for that part-time work, just looking to try more things. We have folks that we don't really do a lot of social media, but we do have folks that have expertise in doing it, which is really helpful. And we only do it for like a handful of clients. We don't do it for everyone, just because more about can we deliver the right like digital plane that they all want, right? A lot of static social media stuff is usually what we'll do. We do have some videos, but there's a lot of content creators out there that have a good space, right? So let them do what they do, and we can help supplement the different pieces of it because we know that they're better at it. On the flip side, when we were looking at email marketing, content marketing, newsletters, those types of things, those are still worthwhile. And we know there's a demand for like seeing that information. It's just a question of how much we recommend the client invests in it for that return on that investment, right?
Yeah, and you brought up like content creators, and it's funny because we've done our own marketing, and you're like, you're a digital marketing company, and you're going to pay for marketing? Yes. So one, it's hard to do your own stuff, which is weird, but it's almost like doing a job interview and talking about yourself. It's hard, and you get clients that pay you. You're going to do their work. You just never find time for yourself. So if you can find time for yourself, awesome, good on you. But like, I don't know if you've seen, maybe not, right? Digital marketers, you pay attention to this stuff, but like Chamber Media is this company that has like super funny internet famous people on social media that do ads and stuff. We actually paid Chamber Media for some ads and we had 0 leads, 0, right? And these people like guarantee through the roof results, and their product was good, but we just didn't get any leads from it, right? But we didn't get any traction. So it was like, all right, we've really found that for our business, it's grassroots, word of mouth, which is dangerous and growing that way, but it's worked for us. So we've become kind of this boutique offering. And it's funny I say boutique because we still also don't charge that much. Yeah, growing can be hard, but finding the people that can help you grow in some of those dynamic content ways is hard. And like we picked a person very reputable and it didn't work out for us. I mean, we got very professional videos. We paid a very high ad budget, but I again, retrospective, I think looking back on it, it didn't hit our demographic in our area just because it was more for people like us, who are already probably computer dorky and not necessarily living in a small southern town. Like, it's just, so live and learn.
It was good to learn though. The investment, the value that came back to us was other options, other ways to look at the demographics, other recommendations we would make on if you want to spend money on ads and what we would recommend for like different clients, right? Do you want to make the investment of $2,000 a month and not get any leads? Well, we want you to be able to get some leads. So can we think about doing this in a more strategic fashion? Can we do things in parallel? Can we use more organic things first? And then if we get to a point that you want to start doing more advertisements, do something that is within a good budget that you can get something out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, to pivot back to you talking about like newsletters, we've had a couple clients. I think one that's probably still doesn't make maximum use of it, but we have a couple clients that have a lot of clients and that could be repeat clients for things or that are on a subscription for whatever. And as you add new services or you do something for somebody else or technology evolves, your customers don't know that. They don't know what they don't know. At least when you send out a newsletter, you're kind of staying top of mind and you're educating. And, oh, by the way, if you came out with a new service, you're putting that new service in front of them that might apply, right?
Yep.
So newsletters are great for a lot of businesses that are particularly B2B because the read rate for B2B is really high. Business to consumer, B2C, a little bit lower. But the same token, if somebody signed up, they're giving you their email, you might as well send it because it's free, right?
Yeah. And they always have the opportunity to unsubscribe.
Yeah, because lately my thing has been clothes for some reason. I retired from the Army and decided to dress like an adult. And I'll get emails and text messages from these companies that are like, we just came out with these new fake dressy pants and they feel like pajamas. And I'm like, do they really? Whatever, sold. And so I'll have my elastic waist fake dress pant pajamas.
They had you at pajamas.
They had me at pajamas. And hey, shout out to Collars & Co. Your last pair of like Velocity pull-on pants. They look like they're going to be see-through. You put them on, they're not. They're super cool in the Georgia summer. Unpaid advertisement. But yeah, so it's like, but you get there and again, it's about staying top of mind and staying relevant. And, you can use some things like that, like retargeting ads. So people have already seen your stuff, bring them back. Text message campaigns, email campaigns. And the text message price has really been driven down. So if you don't know prices, just assume that email is free. And it's not technically free. But when we were in the Army, I used to call things government free because if something cost $1,000 to the Army, it was government free. Emails cost like, I'm going to make this up and it's close, like 10 cents per 100,000 emails. Okay, they're free. Text messages are somewhere, there's integration costs and system costs or whatever. But if you're looking at just the price of a text message, it's somewhere, depending on your volume, between like 1.4 cents to 4 cents per text message. So not free as you scale, right? But if you're making money and they're making a return, it might be worth it because they have a very high, everyone reads them. So they have almost 100% read rate. And then your kind of interaction rate is up near almost 20%. And you're not going to get that with a 2% click-through rate on an email. So
I think notable text message, even the investment in it to alert your clients if you have, variations of hours. Example, probably would have been good for one of our clients when the hurricane came through, just so you knew what hours would be open. We knew a lot of things were closed. But we do, like if you have weather-dependent clients, right, you do want to let them know so that they don't waste time coming out if you're not open. Or we did lose power again at a point in time. I remember that around in January timeframe. So it's nice to be able to somehow communicate with your clients. It's just a choice of what medium or mode you want to, but definitely highly recommended. Yeah.
And then probably taking advantage of opportunities too. So she mentioned the hurricane, and this is just an interesting tech angle on it. So this was Hurricane Helene, came through the southeast. We're in Augusta. We went to sleep thinking this thing's going to go towards Atlanta. No, like right over Augusta, out of power for like a week here, and we got it back first because our neighborhood somehow has a power substation. Awesome. Had no idea. 10 out of 10 recommend to look that up when you buy a house. But came through. And it was funny because the internet was down, the power was out. We were finding ways to charge our cell phones. The cell phone towers, they were doing something where they were basically limiting everybody's bandwidth so that the range on the tower was better to cover for essential things. And what ended up happening was you could still get app notifications through. And the Ring app, of all apps, the Ring app was the best place. You were getting notifications on where people could find food and water and fuel and where generators were in stock, or if somebody was stealing or somebody needed help at their house. Like the Ring app brought the community together. Like that was the main form of communication, completely random. And I think Ring took advantage of that by reinforcing some of their messaging features, starting to send some geo-targeted messages in the area. And so it's just like, I never would have thought. But because we had a Ring doorbell, which we didn't install, by the way, now there's a Ring floodlight on the back of the house. My mom has a Ring doorbell, right? Like it's like, oh, this is legit and this is cool and the app is good.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you never know what's going to take off. Starlink. So we got code of entry Starlink terminals now. So we have backup internet. So we don't have to, I was like walking to the top of the hill to use the hotspot to make sure all the clients were still good and stuff.
Yeah.
We got service during a hurricane. But yeah, it was, it's been a wild 5 years. I mean, we've had COVID, we've lived through hurricanes, southern blizzards, AKA an ice, like an eighth of an inch of ice, blizzard. Man, I did a podcast either right before or right after the Capitol riots. Or the January 6th event, whatever label we're going to put on it, the Insurrection Day. I was like, man, I almost did a podcast. We would have gotten fired. I would have gotten put in jail. I was still active duty, and I was so disappointed in our country, right? Like, hey, there's this inflection point where, oh, wait a minute, brinksmanship. We're all pushing each other. We're super polarized. You're either left or you're right or you're wrong. And everybody could agree that, oh, wait, this might have gone too far. And instead of being like, hey, everybody, time out, let's talk, we just doubled down. And I was like, what are we doing? Sorry. It's like that's happened in the 5 years. Yeah. The presidential swings, Yeah.
So I'll go with the second half of our team. So the ones that are here now. We've had
So the newbies.
The newbies.
That aren't really newbies anymore.
They're not.
They're quite established and rock stars.
Yeah. So social media, and one person that does some of our social media is my sister-in-law, Julia.
Her last name is not Gulia, but I say it every time.
Yeah. By day,
Adam
mom
Sandler
of 4, taking care of all of the going to school and pickups, all of those things. And has been able to learn what we do for the social media side, getting a little bit to know on the Google business side, and just wants to continue to grow. So that's kind of nice. Like just a couple hours a week. That's fun. We brought on Christa. Greg had highlighted his organizational skills of like him writing things down may not be optimal. He does organize very well, but putting it on paper is a little different story. We were able to hire Christa. She's been able to help us with podcast editing, keeping notes for us and keeping us straight, making sure we're doing the tasks that might be assigned to us. So that's been extremely helpful. Very flexible and like most of the things we've been doing, like if we want to try a new project, she's happy to go along for the ride and then take notes and give us feedback, which is kind of nice. Operating out of Texas. Julia is operating out of Illinois.
Yep. All made much easier by COVID.
Yes. More apt to being able to be digital, online, virtual with us. We hired my brother-in-law, Mike, to help us with cybersecurity. Since we made the investment in the cybersecurity insurance, there are some methodologies you have to put in place. So kudos to Mike. We have different plans, response plans in place for our Azure and our Amazon stuff. Woo.
Yeah. And hey, if you don't have cybersecurity insurance in your small business, you got to think about it. It's becoming harder and harder to get cybersecurity insurance, unfortunately. But you are the main target. You're an easy target. And I know people will be like, oh, no, I'd never get targeted. Yeah, good luck with that. We actually had a client that we don't do cybersecurity services for have their email hacked this last week. It's too easy. If somebody that knows what they're doing decides they're going to come for you, generally speaking, you're done. So having that insurance is good. Short of having the insurance, then doing real backups and stuff like that. There are ways around it, right? Like it's cool if somebody can get you locked in a ransomware attack if you just backed up 5 minutes ago and you can just blow it all away and stand it back up. But if you don't have those plans,
protect your data.
Yeah.
We hired a SEO expert that wanted to do some part-time work because they really did like it. So shout out to Michael, who's getting us pretty straight on our own website stuff. So we're finally making an investment on our own stuff as well as for our clients. So yay, we're going to practice what we preach.
Yeah, no, it's been good. And that was another thing about, you find people to hire, and we put out like, hey, we wanted an SEO person to kind of augment the team and provide more capacity. And it turns out he's really almost like a SME level subject matter expert level SEO person.
You're overqualified to work with us.
Yeah.
Why would you like to work with us? He's like, I like it.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, sweet. Yeah. Great member of the team and has kind of continued to raise our level. Because over time you can become stagnant. It has been 5 years and technology changes and whatever. And I'm referring to a book that's probably 15 years old because it's not technical focused. That's why you should read it. But it's nice to bring in somebody with fresh technical skills and do a refresh. So our upskilling has been on a different level thanks to him. So.
And then our newest hire is Heather, who's been doing newsletter work.
Hashtag Kiki.
Yeah.
My kids call her Kiki. Aunt Heather, by the way.
Yeah. She's been doing part-time work for us and willing to learn all kinds of different things for the client. So whether it's creating a brand new newsletter and maintaining it and getting some of that information posted to the website and doing a little bit more. We're going to learn a little bit more over the summer because we're calling this summer our upskill summer. For whatever each of the individuals really want to do, but they are crossing, leveling some of the skills they're interested in. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, and I think if we dig into that just a little bit, we had it's very corporate of us, a virtual like happy hour pizza party to just kind of be like, hey, we're at 5 years. How's everybody doing? What do you, I'm not going to say blank gripes and complaints. What are your sustains and approves for the company? And is there anything that you think you want to learn, upskill, any questions? And I think, the upskilling part was interesting. There were some on, better use of social media, digging deeper into Google Ads and some of the like Google Tag Manager integrations that can be done just because Google's changing that all the time. There was some AWS Solutions Architect stuff, some project management professional stuff. And interesting, like in our small team, we actually have a lot of those certifications and whatever. It's like there was one time I was sitting down like trying to doodle on the paper and I'm like, okay, how many? There's PhDs and masters and bachelors and cloud certifications and AWS certifications and PMPs. And I'm like, wow, like pretty accomplished little small business. So.
Yes. Now we just have to see what the next 5 years.
Yeah. What's next 5 years? Is it going to be you? Hey, you can subscribe, follow, listen, or reach out to us, codeofentry.com. If anybody just has questions about anything we just rambled about for the last 45 minutes or so, or needs help in your digital marketing journey, your website, upskilling to the next thing. My son's at a cybersecurity camp, so we're happy to also just talk and help people get educated. Because kids these days, and I was starting to wrap up, but kids these days, it's crazy. Like the cybersecurity program here, I know I had my son Lucas on one of the podcasts, but between Cyber Patriots and Hack the Box, and right now he's at the National Student Leadership Council cybersecurity camp at Johns Hopkins. There's just so many things that I never knew existed when I was a kid that these kids are like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And be like, that's a thing? My son will be like, hey dad, there's a new package in Kali Linux that does this. Like, can you show me how to use it? I'm like, I can find a video that can show you how to use it. I have no idea. Yeah, so it's crazy. 5 years, they go by quick, and things change a lot. Shoot. At the beginning, and the bottles are behind me. Hold on. Okay, the bottles are not behind me. I was looking for my... Oh, okay, sorry. You can't see my office, but it's a podcast studio office. I have these bottles from it was from an RSA conference. It was like the snake oil, like extract of artificial intelligence. Okay, that's not the case anymore. AI, very real. Large language models blowing it up.
Yeah.
We've even done podcasts where I'm like, man, Copilot sucks. I don't like Copilot at all. Talking about the GitHub coding tool. And now I'm like, hey, it's come a long way. Like you can log into VS Code, do Copilot with it. Copilot, you can pick the model. Like this is pretty legit. And now Claude Code, it started and I was already like, oh, this is blowing my mind. Now Claude Code is legit better than me. Now I have gotten pretty good at like telling Claude Code what to do, but Claude Code is knocking it out. So yes, this evolution of large language models, talking about RAG, things you can do with automated data ingestion, data pipelines, like it just, technology is evolving so fast right now. It's it's fun, but it's also hard to keep up. So
yes. So you already did the subscribe, we put more things on the website now. So if anyone does want to do our free 30-minute consultation, that's listed now as well. So it's easier to get hold of us. We still have our contact forms, of course, as well. But if you want to pick up the phone call, our phone number is there. If you don't want to talk, you just want to do a chat message, we have that too.
Yeah, that's funny too, because for a long time it was like, oh yeah, just call us. Like, and I'm not going to call anybody. And then we were talking and we talked about, Christa saving the world. Like, I'm not going to answer the phone either. Thankfully, Christa will answer the phone. You'll have a very nice person answer the phone now and get you linked up. But that's, business growth. Know yourself and know that your clients are probably going to be the same. So yeah, you can chat, email, cold schedule a meeting, and we'll be there. Talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk a lot, I'll try to be there.
Yeah, that's definitely great.
If you want somebody to listen, Carrie will be there. We can figure that out.
Yes. Yeah, if you have clients or your customers are on this device, you have to have more than just a phone call.
Yeah.
They're always looking at it and scrolling.
Yeah, true story. And the man, just talking about company and doing what you want to do. Like, I would love to make phone apps. That's how I started. That's how Lighthouse Mobile Solutions started. And now it's like vertical just didn't take off. There's a lot of competition. So we'll actually have clients who would be like, I want to make a phone app. It's like, so do you realize like how much that's going to be to keep up? And generally the answer is no. And that's why you go down the angle of like, well, what about a responsive website that somebody can go to on your phone and still works like an app?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good. And now I'm getting down to a whole topic of talking to people and like making sure their requirements meet their intent versus what they asked for. They don't know what they don't know, but
they don't.
Squirrel.
Small little apps. In theory, not a lot of time, not a lot of money for investment, but it is a lot of time to make sure it stays up and running and secure.
Yeah, on iOS 73 or whatever we're on now, like the same bookshelf with the extract bottles over there, I think has like an iOS 4, 5, and 6 book in them. Also has an ADA 95 book. If anybody out there can tell me what ADA is, I'm very proud of you. Yeah.
We'll put that down for comments.
Yeah, sweet.
So I have the fun quote, right? It says 5 years of questionable decisions and surprisingly successful outcomes. Here's to many more.
That's perfect.
Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers. Hey, thanks for joining us. Oh, I got to drink first. Cheers. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us in our myriad of episodes so far. We have a whole schedule of episodes to resurrect the podcast a little bit now that we're all retired from the Army and settled in a little bit. We're going to get back and join you. If you have any ideas for topics, please let us know. We're happy. That's honestly the hardest part. I will talk about anything at length.
Yes. At length.
You agreed way too quick.
Sorry.
I will talk about anything at length. It's just hard to always come up with good, interesting things. So, yeah, we'll be back. We'll have like I said, we've got a whole handful of these ready to go, and we appreciate you. Follow, subscribe, listen, download, watch on YouTube, whatever you do. We appreciate you. Until next time, keep hustling.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Code of Entry and online at codeofentry.com. Check back for new episodes or join the team by signing up for notifications. Until next time, keep hustling.